Good morning, CW Henry School. This is Miss Davis coming to you virtually to bring you the Black History Bite of the Day. As you know, Black history is American history, and across the month of February, we're going to highlight somebody who is very important in this history each morning. Today, on February 4th, it's a really special Black History Bite of the Day because we are going to focus on someone who you've probably heard of before. You've probably talked about her at home or at school. And today in history, it's her birthday. Does anybody know who it is, who I'm talking about? Drum roll, please. Today's Black History Bite of the Day focuses on Rosa Parks. Now, as you can see at the top, Rosa was born on February 4th in the year 1913, over 100 years ago. And she is no longer alive. She passed away on October 24th, 2005. At the bottom, you'll see a picture of Rosa when she was in her life. And if you notice in the background, does anybody recognize who that figure is in our history? The very own Dr. Martin Luther King. Now, if you know about Rosa Parks, you know that she is referred to by many as the mother of the civil rights movement. And when she was alive, she was also called the First Lady of Civil Rights. If you don't know about her life, this photograph gives you a sneak peek into one of the most famous things she experienced. Let's dive in and learn a little bit more about her. So who was she? Well, she was born in the southern United States in the state of Alabama. Her full name when she was born was Rosa Louise McCauley. She was born in a place called Tuskegee, Alabama on February 4th. Happy birthday, Rosa. So across her life, she had many accomplishments. She was somebody who fought for equal rights for Black people. Growing up, she'd experienced an extreme amount of racism, and she'd lived with it in the South. She had experienced members of the Ku Klux Klan, the KKK, burning down Black schoolhouses and churches. She'd seen Black men get beaten by a white bus driver for getting in his way. The bus driver only had to pay a $24 fine. Rosa and her husband, Raymond, knew that these were absolutely injustices and they wanted to do something about it. So they joined an organization called the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, or what we call now the NAACP. Rosa saw this opportunity to do something when the Freedom Train arrived in Montgomery. If you're in one of our fourth grade classes, I know that you studied the Freedom Train in depth earlier this year. The train was supposed to not be segregated, according to the Supreme Court. So Rosa led a group of African American students to the train. They attended the exposition on the train at the same time and in the same line as the white students. Some people in Montgomery didn't like this. They believed it was against the law. But Rosa wanted to show them that all people, regardless of the color of your skin, should be treated the same. It was on December 1st, 1955, that Rosa made her famous stand while sitting on a bus. That was the first picture on the first slide. She settled into her seat on the bus after a hard day's work. All of the seats on the bus had filled up when a white man boarded the bus. The bus driver told Rosa and some other African Americans to stand up. Rosa refused. She said no. The bus driver said he would call the police, and Rosa didn't move. Soon the police showed up, and Rosa was arrested. So if you're an older student at CW Henry School, you have learned about the history of Rosa Parks. But if you are a younger student at CW Henry, kindergarten, maybe even first grade, this might be new information for you, right? So I just want to make sure that everybody understands that she was arrested for riding a bus alongside white people. And she was taking a stand because she knew that she deserved exactly the same rights as all of the other people riding the bus. Well, she was charged with breaking a segregation law and was told to pay a fine of $10. That was a lot of money in the 1950s. She refused to pay, however, saying that she was not guilty and that the law was illegal. She appealed to a higher court. That night, a number of African American leaders got together and decided to boycott the city buses. This meant that African Americans would no longer ride the buses. One of those leaders was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and he became the president of the Montgomery Improvement Association, which helped to lead the boycott. It wasn't easy for people to boycott the buses, as many African Americans didn't have cars. They had to walk to work or get a ride in a carpool. Many people couldn't go into town to buy things. However, they stuck together in order to make a statement. The boycott continued for 381 days, over an entire year. Finally, the US Supreme Court ruled that segregation laws in Alabama were unconstitutional. Later on in her life, Rosa Parks received a number of awards and recognitions for her accomplishments. She was awarded the Congressional Gold Medal, as well as the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Here she is, standing next to former President Bill Clinton, receiving an award. There is so much more to learn and know about Rosa Parks' life. This is truly a summary. I encourage you to do some research, right? Google Rosa Parks for kids. Check on Brain Pop. There's a video about her. There is a lot more that she experienced in her life and other people in the civil rights movement who she influenced as well. So that brings you to the end of your Black History Bite of the day. I'm so glad we were able to talk about Rosa Parks in honor of her birthday today on February 4th. I look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow for our next Black History Bite of the day. Have a wonderful day, everyone.